Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well, when it's finished, I'd love to know about it. We can broadcast it out to the group.
I'd love
Uh,
that.
yeah, thank you. Well, the next question is about this idea of multipliers. And is there a multiplier or two you've used in your career, in your life, that has helped you multiply in your success?
So give me an example of a multiplier so I understand the concept.
Sure. So multipliers have been interpreted by other guests in a lot of different ways. Some people, it's been personal, where they've said a multiplier for me was the idea of visualization. Other people said, in fact, a gentleman from a couple weeks ago, he said vision boards for him were a huge
Mm,
multiplier in his life. Another person used, you would lock himself in his office for 1 hour every week and just shut all electronics, everything off, and
wow.
just think, just sit at his desk and think. Other people have said some obvious things related to growth. Some have said franchising has been that multiplier that as a vehicle. Some people have said finding business partners. Other people have said their staff. So it's been a broad cross section.
Wow.
So and some have been business related, others have been personal related, some have just been the support from their family, just their spouse, their husband or wife or kids or whatever it might be.
I got it. Okay. So I've got one that's business and personal, which is word of mouth.
Mm.
It's word of mouth marketing, but it's also personal. So I found that to be an amazing multiplier. We're a small company, even though some people may know us. At one point, we were definitely a national brand in 40 states, but we're a small company. We have right at 100 employees. And so I think a lot of businesses listening can probably relate to the challenges of marketing on a very limited budget. The beauty of word of mouth marketing is that essentially it really costs nothing. You're getting people who talk up your brand, but it's also the most powerful form of marketing. So how great is that, that the most powerful form of getting the word out about your brand is free, essentially free. It's about getting people who really understand your brand and sharing their stories. What better multiplier than that? How I've been able to tap into that, we discussed, is LinkedIn has been
Mhm.
an incredible resource. I think in part because of the crisis of COVID, because we're not able to get out and meet each other in person at conferences and events. So we have to turn to social media. And I found LinkedIn is such a great equalizer. A small company like Stuckey's, I can get my message out there just as much as 7-Eleven, which is the largest C-store in the world. And here we are, a tiny little brand compared to 7-Eleven, but some of my posts get more engagement. That doesn't mean we're better. It's just saying it's an equalizer. I can get
Mhm.
my word out just like they can.
Yeah, well, and that's how I started following you on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. I saw your posts, I started seeing what you were doing, and I love what you're putting up there. I feel connected to your brand.
Yeah.
The nostalgia of some of the you post pictures of your grandfather, this family member, an old employee, or old pictures from many years ago, or current things that are happening. The excitement, and I could just see the enthusiasm when you had purchased the manufacturing company. It's like it felt connected to the brand, even though we had never met other than through LinkedIn, right? But there was a connection point there. So I
Yeah.
appreciate what you're doing.
And that's a multiplier, right? We
Yes.
just came up with a second one. LinkedIn is a multiplier.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
Everyone
you're
out there, post on LinkedIn. They're not paying me to say that. See,
yeah,
that's word of mouth.
that's right. That's right. And it's true because you use that word equalizer. I think that's a great description because your voice is as loud as, like you mentioned, 7-Eleven, or pick another big brand out there. Your voice is as big as theirs. It's equal there.
Just think about what makes you special and different. I read a quote, and now, I've heard if you repeat a quote and attribute it the first time, and then after that you just keep repeating, you don't have to attribute. So this is like the third time I've used it, so I don't necessarily have to attribute it. But when you're a small company, you can't succeed by being just like the others. You can't be just like everyone else. You have to differentiate yourself. And so that's what I'm trying to do through my storytelling. We've got a story at Stuckey's, and that's what makes us different. And our story is about the road trip. Our story is about taking the back roads and exploring this country. That's connected into everything we do. So that's the differentiator, and that's the multiplier too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I guess on a personal basis, I resonate with what you say. We've all taken those road trips. And I remember as a kid taking a family road trip, and we would all caravan. There'd be aunts and uncles and grandparents. We'd all caravan to a vacation up into we'd go camping in the North Woods in Wisconsin. And it's a long trip. We'd go and we'd all camp and stay together. And it was fun. But I remember those. And so seeing what you're doing makes me think back to that. And I wasn't stopping at a Stuckey's per se, but I'm connecting to your brand through that. And so,
Exactly.
and so now I say, now I'm looking at this saying, okay, well, you know what? Let's take a road trip to Stuckey's. Let's throw the kids in the car and let's go. Let's go buy some candies and, you know, and check it out. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.